Hello, good evening everybody. Today we are trying to discussing about another important chapters in the history is second chapter, the extension of British rule in India. So in this chapter we try to learn about point number 1, Anglo-Maratha wars. Second number, the consolidation of British power. Third one is no succession rights for adopted children, and another one is subsidiary alliance, and last point, Anglo-Sikh war. So these are all the important points that we discuss in this chapter. Very firstly, through the Carnatic wars, the England or the English had made other European countries not to challenge them, means British in India. Then they gain complete politically political control over India, especially Bengal, through the policy Battle of Plassey and Battle of Buxar. So by the 1765, British had gained control over most of the eastern parts of India, since the Marathas and Mysore states were dominant in the southern parts of India. So these Britishers hold only on the Bengal, and these states, I mean the Mysore states and Marathas, restricted British only to Bengal and Bombay. So Hyder Ali and his son Tipu Sultan of Mysore, along with Peshwa, I mean Hyder Ali, Tipu Sultan, and Peshwas. So these rulers, Peshwas of Marathas, were the only impediments in the north, in the path of the expansion policy of the British. So the others were number of native rulers like Sikhs also opposed the British expansion in the northwestern regions of India. So Ranjit Singh, this person who emerged in the later part of 19th century was also formidable, so opponents for the British. So he was successfully in the organizing all the Sikhs in India. Then after, the British also makes repeated wars again and again. They makes wars from the mid of the 18th century to mid of the 19th century. Why they makes again and again war? Because to extend their empire, in India. Apart from this, they also annexed various kingdom, so without not with cunning policies by the British, like subsidiary alliance and doctrine of lapse. During at this time, so totally the British makes 3 Anglo-Maratha wars and 4 Anglo-Mysore wars and 2 Anglo-Sikh wars in India. Since the Anglo-Mysore wars are the discussed in separate unit. Here we shall discussing about. Are we understanding the wars of the British against the Marathas and Sikhs? So, very firstly, we're discussing about Anglo-Maratha wars. First Anglo-Maratha War, so in between 1775 to 1782. Remember, here the Marathas installed Shah Alam II, so back on the throne of Mughal Empire in Delhi. Shah Alam II became the ruler of Delhi. So this Shah Alam II was under the controlling of British. So after the defeat in the Battle of Buxar War, after the defeating of Shah Alam II in the Buxar War, so he is under the controlling of British. So now the emperor gave Kora and Malabar to the Marathas. So when he had earlier given to British. So this resulted when Shah Alam II accepted Kora and Malabar. So this resulted in the enmity between Marathas and the British. During this period, the death of Marathas strong man Madhava Rao Peshwa was major setback. When Madhava Rao Peshwa died, there is a great or major setbacks to Marathas. So after the death of Madhava Rao, his brother Narayan Rao came to power. So, but he was murdered by his uncle Raghubha. So this person is also called as Raghunatha Roy. So this resulted in infighting for the Peshwa's post. Then finally, the Marathas Federation through Marathas Federation brought Madhava Rao II. Marathas Federations brought Madhava Rao II. So the minor son of Narayan Rao, so the post for the Peshwa. So when Madhava Rao II became the Peshwa of Maratha, he was very minor. So this incident upset with British through this when Madhava Rao II becomes the Peshwa of Maratha. So this incident resulted in fighting between Marathas leader. So when Marathas Federations makes Madhava Rao II as the Peshwa of Maratha, so this development Raghunatha Rai or Raghuba so approached the British for the support. The British wants to utilize this situation. The British also tries to exploiting this situation. Then for their favor, then British favor, they want to exploiting this situation. A long war happened between. So in between 1775 to 1782 between Marathas and the British. Initially Marathas Federation was upper hand. Finally, lastly, the Marathas are not able to withstand in front of the British. Finally, they entered Salbai Treaty and ending the first Anglo-Maratha War. So after the first Anglo-Maratha War, so Madhava Rao named as the Peshwa of Maratha. So then after we're discussing about one of the important incident is, so Lord Wellesley, who came to India as the Governor General of British East India Company or British. So Lord Wellesley came to India in the year of 1798. He was stayed in India up to 1808, and he introduced a policy, that is policy of subsidiary alliance. Remember the expansion policy of the British. So empire took place at a very faster pace. I mean, they want to expand their kingdom very fastly after the arrival of Lord Wellesley as the Governor General of India. Then, by this time, the powerful states of India, like Marathas and Mysore, had to became weak, and the expansion was very easy. When Lord Wellesley came to India, so in India, so the very strong provinces like Mysore and another one is Marathas becomes weak. So this is one of the important incident are very helpful to British to expanding their empire. At that time, Lord Wellesley followed their policies to the expand the British Empire in India. So at that time, Lord Wellesley introduced number of policies in India to expand their kingdom in India. Finally, he introduced policies of subsidiary alliance. Subsidiary alliance. So then after, so waging war to make war against this policy, waging war against new states and administration in the states directly that were under the control of British. When Lord Wellesley introduced subsidiary alliance, totally, so number of wars against the new states and administration, the states directly that were under the controlling of British. Then, what is meant by subsidiary alliance? Who introduced it? When introduced? Subsidiary alliance means who introduced it? Lord Wellesley introduced subsidiary alliance. Lord Wellesley introduced this policy in the year of 1798. I mean, Lord Wellesley introduced policy of subsidiary alliance in the year of 1798. So, in order to why this person introduced this policy? Because so he wants to, or in order to, so bring the local kings under the controlling of British. The main aim of this policy is to control the local rulers under the British. For that reason, so Lord Wellesley introduced subsidiary alliance. So this policy was basically a military protection agreement. Subsidiary alliance is a basically military protection agreement. So between the East India Company and the Indian states. The main purpose of this policy is it is a military based agreement. So in between British East India Company and in between the Indian states. Then, what were the conditions of this policy? What were the conditions of this policy? Why Lord Wellesley introduced subsidiary alliance in India? So, point number one, conditions of this policy. What were the conditions of subsidiary alliance? One is the Indian king. The Indian king had to keep the British army in his kingdom. First point is, so those person who are accepting the policy of subsidiary alliance, that person keep the army, British army, so in his court or in his kingdom. That is first condition. Secondly, the state concerned had to bear, the state concerned had to bear the expansion of the army and the wages of soldier, and also had to given certain revenue land as well as. Second point is, so the state concerned had to given the expense of the army. Those person who accepting this policy, that king had given expense of the army and wages of the soldiers, and another one is also given revenue, so land, as well as revenue land as well as to British government. Third one is, the king had to have a British, the king had to have a British resident in his court. That is another important third conditions of subsidiary alliance. Fourth one is, the king could not, those person who accepting the subsidiary alliance, that king could not appoints any other Europeans without the permission of the British. The king could not appoint any other Europeans without the permission of the British. That is the fourth condition. Fifth one is, in order to entire any agreement or any pact with any Indian state, the permission of the emperor, of the governor is important, or governor general. I mean, in order to, the person who accepting the subsidiary alliance, so wants to make any agreement or any pact with any other Indian state, the permission was taken by the governor general. That is the important another conditions of doctrine subsidiary alliance. Then sixth one is, so in return of all these service, the company, so by all these helps are given to British company, what happened, what did the company given to the local ruler? So last point is, so in return for these service, the company would offer protection to the state from any internal or external aggression. If any person who makes attacks on his kingdom, so he was safe, or he was protected by an army was kept by the British. So these are all the important conditions of the subsidiary alliance. The British could place the Indian states under their control. Totally, the British could place the Indian states under their control through the policy of subsidiary alliance. Then finally, and the maintenance of the army became very easy. Through the introduction of subsidiary alliance, the British takes control over the native rulers, or the British could place the Indian states under the controlling of company, and also this policy helpful to maintenance of the law administration policy, and helpful to maintenance of the army became very easy to British. Then the Indian states were subjected to the severe economic exploitation. So which countries accepted the subsidiary alliance, that all the states face very severe problem. So Hyderabad was one of the first state who entered this agreement. Here there is a chance to ask a question. The state first time accepted the subsidiary alliance is dash. You write that the state Hyderabad very firstly accepted the subsidiary alliance. Then finally later, after Hyderabad accepting this policy, number of native states like Mysore, then Oudh, then Tanjavur, then Maratha, then Berar, then other countries also entered into this agreement. So that is the role of subsidiary alliance introduced by Lord Wellesley. So then after we try to discussing about Second Anglo-Maratha War. Second Anglo-Maratha War in between 1803 to 1805. So here the differences among the Marathas, chieftains, chiefs, was one of the reason for Second Anglo-Mysore War. What was the reason? What was the reason for the cause for the Second Anglo-Maratha War? You write down that the differences among the Marathas chieftains was one of the important reason for the Second Anglo-Maratha War. Totally, there were enmity between Yashwantarao of Holkar family. The enmity between Yashwantarao, the Holkar family, and Daulat Rao of Scindia's family. Very firstly, the internal problems in between. One is Yashwantarao Holkar family and Daulat Rao of Scindia family. So both wanted to establish control over Peshwa Balaji Rao II. These two family wants to take control over Peshwa Balaji Rao II. So in the year of 1802, the army of the Holkar, defeated the armies of Scindia. So when he was defeated, the Scindia, the Peshwa, finally the Peshwa defeated Peshwa. So that person, the Peshwa, so appealed to the British for the help. So defeated Peshwa wants to help from the British to help. At that moment, Lord Wellesley, the Governor General, finally got an opportunity to enter or to meddle with the affairs of the Marathas. This given a chance to Lord Wellesley to interfere or to enter in the middle of the British or Marathas. The Peshwa entered the subsidiary alliance. The Peshwa entered subsidiary alliance by accepting the Treaty of Pessin in between British and Peshwa. So Peshwa accepted subsidiary alliance according to the Treaty of Pessin. So other Marathas families like one is Holkar, Gwalior and Barnsley. Holkar, Gwalior and Barnsley formed an alliance to oppose this Pessin treaty. Three chieftains organized a combined army to fight against this Pessin treaty. So in the year of Lord Wellesley defeated the army of the various Marathas families from 1803 to 1805. But this battle, thirstiness increases the financial loss. The battle thirstiness increase the financial losses or burden on the company. So on the being so of criticism of this policy, Lord Wellesley returned from India and goes to England. So this resulted in the peace and in that region, and Second Anglo-Maratha War ended. Then Third Anglo-Maratha War in between 1817 to 1818. Then what was the causes for the Third Anglo-Maratha War? Remember, the Marathas families tried to their best to protect their all the Marathas families tried to protect their independence and honors. All the Marathas chieftains wants to protect their independence and also all the honors of Marathas. So at that time, even the Peshwa attempted to free himself from the clutches of the company. Even the Peshwa of Maratha also wants to remain independence by the clutches of the company. So at that moment, the Peshwa attacked the British residencies in Pune. Very firstly, the Marathas Peshwa attacked on British residencies in Pune and burned it down. Not only attack and burnt that place. So Appa Sahib, one of the person, Appa Sahib of Nagpur, and another one is Malhar Rao, Appa Sahib of Nagpur and Malhar Rao Holkar, so rebelled against the British. So when the Peshwa attacked on Pune residences Pune and burnt it, so number of native rulers like Appa Sahib and another one is Malhar Rao Holkar, so rebelled against the British and were suppressed ruthlessly. But British suppressed that persons ruthlessly. Finally, Peshwa Bajirao II, so fought against the British. So at Koregan. So that person fought Balaji Rao II. So fought against British at Koregan and Asti, and later surrendered. So to the British. Then the British abolished the Peshwa's post and granted pension to Bajirao II when he was defeated in at Koregan and Asti. So the finally British abolished the post of Peshwa and granted pension to the Bajirao II. Then the British installed Pratapa Simha, the descendant of the Shivaji. He belongs to the descendant of the Shivaji, so he was appointed as the ruler of Satara. So finally, the Muskal states, not this person, Chhatrapati, the descendant of Shivaji, so he was the ruler of Satara. So the Muskal state and this person, named him as the traditional leaders, Chhatrapati Shivaji. So he was called as the traditional leader of Marathas and supported the Marathas resistance. So that is the important role of Chhatrapati Shivaji and the 3 Anglo-Maratha war in between the British and Marathas. So after these incidents, another important incident is we look after Anglo-Sikh War in between Sikhs and the British. Very firstly, we're discussing about the consolidation of the consolidation of British power in between 1818 to 1857. So the British completed their agenda to capturing of whole India is the agenda of British. The British completed this their agenda of ruling the entire India. Completed their agenda to ruling entire India. So from 1818 to 1857, they so occupied number of states like Sindh, Awadh, and many others military states by the British. Now we try to discussing about another important incidents is Anglo-Sikh War. Anglo-Sikh War. So we discussing about first point is first Anglo-Sikh War. Totally a political anarchy, so broke out in Punjab. Political imbalance broke out in Punjab after the death of so the King Ranjit Singh in the year of 1839. Totally political anarchy so happened in Punjab after the death of the ruler Ranjit Singh. Ranjit Singh in the year of 1839. So totally the British attempted to so inwards makes attacks Punjab violating broke down the treaty of friendship between Sikhs and the British. So finally the British they had with the Restwhile king, earlier king, so makes an agree with the British friendship treaty. But in the year of December 1845, so a war broke out, a war started out between British and Punjab. So sensing the danger from the outside force, so Hindus, Sikhs, and Muslims got together to defeat the British. So finally, in the year of 1845, a war broke out between the British and Punjab. Sensing the danger, seeing the danger from the outside force, Hindus, Sikhs, and Muslims got together to defeat the British. Finally, they had to accept the defeat due to a few traitors